So I've noticed that Peter Schiff is still making videos in which he claims to be right about everything, despite the opposite being true. And I couldn't help thinking, haven't I seen this before? Because I seem to remember in 2010, his call was harassing Paul Krugman, saying, Peter Schiff's right about everything, you're stupid, and they probably still do. But Paul Krugman kind of responded by saying, why should I bother with this guy? I mean, all I have to say is, where's all that hyperinflation? And Pete responded to this.
Anyway, he apparently, a lot of people send Paul Krugman emails about me. Peter Schiff was right. You should listen to Peter Schiff. So he always, once in a while, he likes to take a jab at me. And in his most recent blog, he said, well, how's that hyperinflation thing going? Like, Peter Schiff's not always right because he said we'd have hyperinflation. I did say we'd have hyperinflation, and we're going to have hyperinflation. I didn't say we were going to have hyperinflation in 2010, but
I actually started following Peter Schiff in 2008, for comedic purposes, of course. And not coincidentally, Alex Jones fans are the ones who told me about him. But anyway, I saw this clip, and I made a mental note of it because I knew it would come in handy one day. And sure enough, I saw that clip, and I made a video in which I showed that clip, and then I just wrote down on a piece of paper. Unfortunately for Peter, his cult has been uploading his videos for years. And then I showed this clip.
Say that unemployment next summer is maybe 10%. And you inflation at what? What do you project next year just by the amount of money that we put into the market?
Well, I think it's already running a little bit north of 10%. I think pretty soon, maybe a year or two down the line, it's going to be going at least 20 or 30% per year.
Inflation.
The government won't admit it, but it will be.
Right.
And not coincidentally, these days Peter Schiff is relegated almost exclusively to the Alex Jones show. But hey, his audience is a bunch of dupes, so it's probably the best place for him from a marketing perspective anyway. But that video, it was really embarrassing for Pete, and he actually responded.
As bad a choice as I thought at first glance when I looked at what he actually did. Anyway, on another note, I wanted to talk about all these Peter Schiff hate videos that seem to be popping up all over the place, and I think it's kind of interesting too. As more of my forecasts tend to come true, more of these guys seem to come out of the woodwork trying to take a couple of shots at me. And they usually accuse me of fraud, but what they're doing is actually fraud. I mean, one of them, for example, one guy is calling me out, saying I'm a fraud, I'm a liar, because on a video blog I did a week ago or so, I claimed that I never predicted that hyperinflation would be here in 2010. And he's trying to call me out by showing an interview I did on the Glenn Beck show about 3 years ago, in which Glenn Beck asked me, well, where do I think inflation could be in the future? And I said, well, it's possible in 2 or 3 years that we could have 20 to 30% annual inflation. Now, obviously, that hasn't happened yet, but that's not hyperinflation. I mean, hyperinflation is 20 to 30% a month, maybe more, 50 to 100% a month. That's definitely high inflation. Now, we don't have that high inflation, but, it's not hyperinflation. And the reason we didn't have that inflation is because the CRB, remember, dropped by 50% in the second half of 2008. We had that huge head-fake dollar rally. Had we not had that big rally, had the dollar just dropped directly after our economy imploded, we probably would be seeing that type of consumer price increases. But instead, we're going to see it maybe next year or the year after that. So I don't think my call is wrong. I think it's premature because I didn't anticipate that sharp rally in the dollar, which obviously has ended.
So, of course, to that I replied, your defense is that you didn't say something completely and utterly moronic, you just said something pretty damn stupid. But what's your defense for everything else you said? Because that was all wrong too. Like, completely. Wasn't even close. I mean, even hyperinflation, there's no set definition for hyperinflation. Now, 30%, that can be hyperinflation for sure. If it goes over a whole bunch of years, I mean, it gets bigger and bigger and basically becomes exponential. So, yeah, that can definitely be hyperinflation. But notice that he said it will happen this year or next year or the year after that, right? So 2011, 2012. So it's 2015 now, and I was curious, who still believes this guy? Who's still going, oh yeah, okay, this guy, he's been right on the money the whole time. So I went to the comments section of his videos and I asked them, and I was told that we're about to resort to cannibalism. And they're all telling me that, like the Illuminati is engineering this and that kind of stuff. They're all conspiracy theorists. They're all nutty little conspiracy idiots. And that's not a coincidence. Like, not even close. I mean, the same mindset of, oh, we know better than the sheeple. It's the exact same mindset. So, yeah, this is the quality of people following this guy. Not surprisingly whatsoever. I call it the Peter Schiff bubble in 2008. There are a few very different types of people who still watch Peter Schiff. There's the ones who watch him for the comedy. There's the ones who just found out who he was recently, and what he's saying makes sense to them for what's going on today. And they hear Pete talking about how awesome he is, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's pretty good. Well, to you guys, this is who he actually is. So now you know. You can stop bothering listening to that. But then there are the hardcores, the people who will actually like argue it out in the comment section and tell you, oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, I've been doing the economic analysis, and the bond market, it's going to collapse. The Illuminati, they can't stop it forever, or something even more stupid, or something less stupid for that matter. Now those people they attach a lot of self-worth to these beliefs. See, they love going around telling people, oh, you don't be sheeple, all right? Like, I'm telling you, like, the whole economy is going to collapse. I'll be right. And then they really want it to happen, because then they can say, oh, I told you. Yeah, I'm fucking awesome. But they have a very hard time letting go of these beliefs, because, like I said, it's their whole self-worth. Admitting that they're wrong is the same as admitting that they're stupid, or so they think. But in fact, the opposite is true. It is smart people who can say, "Oh, well, I was wrong about that. Now, feel kind of silly, but hey, what can I learn from this?" And then you can stop saying stupid things and being a weirdo. But the vast majority, they won't do that. See, like, if you watch this and you say, no, Peter has been right all along. You just don't get it yet. like, tomorrow the bond's going to interest rates through the roof, hyperinflation. You just don't get it. You people, you're useless to society, other than being a great example of what not to be.